What does it take to build a championship program? Who really makes the team? The coach? Or the players? And do you really want a championship program? Because with that comes pressure. Pressure from the fans, pressure from the moments, and pressure from yourself. But pressure can create a wonderful opportunity, an opportunity to rise above the rest and reach the top of the mountain, because you have unfinished business.
But one thing I think it takes is time. I think it takes time. I think it takes development and kind of trusting in the process, right? You have to have a vision, and whatever you want your vision to be, we have to be able to take steps to get there.
Carmel Christian Cougars have many questions to ask themselves prior to the 2015-2016 basketball season. The previous season ended with a conference finals loss and a disappointing absence from the state playoffs.
You guys, we coming from a super long way, right? So everyone that was here before, you remember, guys that weren't here before, you still remember Carmel and what it looked like. I think that it may look a little bit different now, right? You guys have 3-4 years left. That'll be the last time they'll beat you guys, I promise. That'll be the last time they'll beat you. I can guarantee you that.
Coach Coley and the Cougars went into the offseason with one specific goal: development.
So last season was good. It was our first season here. Came in, kind of didn't know what to expect. Didn't know what we would get. We met the guys kind of at the last second. I came over in June, and we just immediately started practicing in the summer. I would say we had a lot of young men that had never played basketball before on the level that we were trying to get them to play on, but they stepped up and they met the challenge. So we knew we had to hit the ground running, and we had to begin to develop what we had. We had a long way to go, but development is key. And you know, we preach to our guys about process and about staying with the process and believing and trusting in the process. And that's developing. If we weren't good at ball handling last year, we need to be good at it this year. Taking little things, taking little steps towards the big goal. If we can get everybody better on our team, wins, they're just a byproduct of that. So we hit the summer, we hit the postseason, then we hit the summer, then we hit the preseason with that one goal on our mind as a staff, which was develop our guys.
So you gotta fire up, you gotta let go, you never be loved till you make your own. You gotta face up, you gotta get yours, you never know the top till you get too low. Step farther, I'm so sorry. Step farther, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I would say maybe the first 8 games of the season we went through the gauntlet. You know, we were hurt, but the new guys have been great. You know, Brett Swilling, he's come in and he's been a wrecking ball on defense. His energy has been unbelievable. His passion's been unbelievable. He's done anything that we've asked for him to do. He's been phenomenal. John Bryan came to us from kind of a unique situation. He had been homeschooled his whole life. We went, you know, summer workouts, and he showed up on his tour at the school. He and his family had no clue, and I mean, now he's a member of our team. But he's got a learning curve to go. But the stuff that we don't need to teach is that he's 6'8". You know, we can't teach that. We can't teach the fact that, you know, he can jump all over the rim and he's super athletic. So now we're just trying to get him to work in the parameters of what we do. Those are the things that we can teach, and it's been great. You know, he's been yes sir, no sir. He's been, you know, open and willing to do anything that we've asked of him. And as such, he's seen his growth on the basketball floor has been tremendous. Miles Pierre, You know, same thing. Don't know what you're gonna get. Don't know, you know, what happens. He comes in. We get a new student. Okay, great. You know, let's say he plays basketball. Okay, outstanding. We got workouts. We come in, and whoa, right away. That was our first thing. Like, you know, whoa, this kid is, you know, he's got great size to be a ninth grader. His motor is relentless. His leadership ability has been, I mean, I can't even compare it to anyone that I've ever had the opportunity of coaching, because they were all great leaders, but just different, you know, and he's different, and he's so young with it. You know, he's hunger to do well and to get better and to learn from mistakes, but he's also very, very humble, and that he will admit mistakes. He will take ownership of that, and you know, his teammates hold him accountable, and he holds them accountable as well. He's willing to accept and change. Greg McDonald, same thing. He's been perfect. He's a sophomore for us. You know, he's probably skill-wise, you know, one of the most skilled bigs that I've had the opportunity to coach, and it's been a joy to watch him develop. We've been giving him that push, especially, you know, he came in with a little lingering injury, but you know, he's been getting rehab and the treatment on that, and he's, you know, rising above it. He's so mentally tough, and we're able to kind of use him, and he's allowing us to use him in such a way that it's been beneficial. And then finally we had Josh Jones come in, who is a marksman. You know, I mean, lights out. Yeah, if he catches it, then he gets, you know, kind of a slither of daylight is going in, and that's great, because we need that. When all this fails, we can drive and kick. He can space the floor for us. We've also put him in some positions where we needed him on the ball and handling the ball, and he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. And I think we have one more young man that's special as well, Roland. Roland came in, and Roland has been a workhorse. You know, he hit a wall early, which was expected. You know, it takes some time to get adjusted, but he's turned the corner. You know, he fought through the wall. He broke it down with his bare hands and feet, literally, and he's adjusted. All the while, he's getting better. He's growing. Schools are coming in. They're looking now. He's bought into what we do and how we do it. And we've been able to do different things with him, move him off the ball, put him on the ball. He's been open and receptive. So our guys have been great. The new guys have been very, very fortunate and thankful to have them.
The Cougars looked good on paper, but it was time to see how good they really were. A tough first half of the schedule saw the Cougars limp to a 9-6 start, but thanks to some determination and key development during the offseason, the Cougars began to find their stride once conference games began.
Conference went well. We started off, kind of didn't know what we would get. We started off playing low. We knew it would be top heavy. They added Christ the King this year. They're well coached. We knew they have some great kids who just didn't know how strong. So we came into the conference, we were a little bit, you know, stagnant. Won some games, you know, won some games big, but then we ran up on Christ the King, our first real test that was here at our place.
Christ the King Catholic School was a newcomer to the conference and was certainly no slouch. Led by number 13, junior Michael Grigg, the Crusaders were a very strong threat offensively, scoring the second most points against the Cougars all season.
We almost scored 100 points, and they almost scored 100 points. So something had to give, which is when we started focusing on defense.
A wise man once said, defense wins championships. The Cougars locked in on defense and eventually took control of the game. Their pressuring man-to-man, along with excellent help defense, made life difficult and frustrated the Crusaders throughout the second half of the game. By no means was it a blowout, but the 94-83 victory sent a clear message to the rest of the conference. Carmel Christian had some unfinished business.
Got a chance to see victory first. It was our first real test after the Christ the King game. Right after Christmas, didn't know how the guys were going to respond. You know, a little bit stagnant coming off the long break. but we really gelled at the Christmas tournament. So coming off the Christmas tournament, we had a great last game against Christ School. Came into the victory game, had 2 good practices right before, showed up and had a good showing.
It's always a big game against Victory Christian. Remember, after going 0-3 against them last season, Coach Coley made the team a promise.
That'll be the last time they'll beat you guys, I promise. That'll be the last time they'll beat you. I can guarantee you that.
Now it's time to fulfill that promise and show everyone just how good the Cougars have become.
When you get the vibration, won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. You better start rolling when you hear the man calling. It won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. No, we don't mind if you don't mind. 'Cause I'll never mind.
The Cougars cruised to a 53-33 win against Victory Christian, solidifying their place at the top of the conference.
And that's what we needed from these 2 guys. They came in and did exactly what we needed to do, okay? This is how we gain the trust, and we get on the floor, we do good things, right? We minimize turnovers, we execute plays, we run through our stuff. That's how we win, right? We win together, we lose together. That's what happens, right?
Everybody stepped up. We had other people step up and do some of the things that he normally does. So that's the sign of a good team. That's the sign that we're coming together, starting to gel, and this is the time we want to do that. So again, we're first in the conference. Now let's go out every day, practice like it, watch film like it, and then go play like it.
Needless to say, the Cougars were rolling. As the team continued to gel, the victories kept coming, to the tune of a 5-game win streak heading into senior night against United Faith.
For senior night, it was big, it was emotional, had 2 seniors. We were actually down a young man, do some things with the team. So, we had seniors step up. That's what they did.
Seniors Roland Whitley and Mac Bryden showed great leadership and set the tone early for the Cougars.
They led us through, it was nip and tuck the whole game. As soon as we felt like we take a good lead, they come back and they claw back in it. There was a 1-point game at one point. The guys kept fighting, kept pushing.
Keep fighting, keep pushing. Despite solid play from United Faith, the Cougars increased their defensive pressure and fought their way to a win, remaining perfect at home during the conference and giving a much-deserved victory to the 2 seniors.
Senior Mac Bryden. Also in there, the Cougars, number 11, Sam Wolf. In for senior Roland Whitley.
Now it was time to finish the job and prepare for the conference tournament.
We went into the last game of the season, which was at Victory. And that was big. That one, had we lost, we would have tied for first place in the conference. The tiebreaker would have been decided by a coin flip. So if we get tails and we call heads, we're in second place, just like that. So then we kind of meet expectations. So we talked about exceeding expectations with the guys. And we go in and at halftime, we're down 16 points. Didn't score but 5 points in the first half or first quarter. It was ugly, for lack of better words. Came back, seniors showed up, everyone showed up on the team. Zach Prevette hit big shots, big threes. We go into overtime. We had key guys foul out early. Our point guard, Raphael, he fouled out. Miles fouled out. Brett cramped up right at the end of the game. We took a 3-point lead in overtime, or we were actually up 2 at the end of regulation. They shot a 3, missed. Kid dunked the ball back in, sends it to overtime. In the overtime, we come in, we play great defense. Zach Rivette hits a big three, puts us up. We're up 3. They come down, miss the 3 ball game. We won the conference. So fighting back, they kind of build character on the guys.
The Cougars went on to face Woodline and United Faith in the conference tournament, setting up one final match against Victory Christian for the conference championship.
I knew we were going into the conference tournament, first round game. You know, we would either get a bye or we would play the 8th seed, and we ended up playing the 8th seed. And the second round in the championship, second round, ironically enough, we played United Faith again. For a third time, we talked to the guys about how it's harder to beat a team 3 times. They stepped up to the challenge. We beat them by 12 again. So I guess 12 is a magic number against them. But they're a great team, great school, great players. Our guys responded to the challenge each time, though. Championship game, we played Victory. We were kind of full tilt. Got an opportunity to kind of go out, stayed out of foul trouble, played well. It was a tough game. Nip and tuck, we were up 4 at halftime. Came out, fought in the third quarter, fought again in the fourth, ended up winning by 12.
The Cougars finished as the regular season and conference tournament champions, earning multiple accolades along the way, but it couldn't have been accomplished without the leadership and perseverance of the returning players.
So more importantly than the new guys were our returners. We wouldn't have been, obviously, nowhere near as good as we were without them. If I just had to start off at the top, I start off with our point guard. Kind of didn't know this year how we talked about development a lot. Took a year off from AAU and summer ball, and that's Mr. Raphael Jenkins. Raphael last year, he was probably 5'7" and probably weighed 120 pounds, and it was all about process and all about let's learn as much. He was a freshman last year, coming into his sophomore year. We grew, stretched out, 5'10", weighs probably 145, 150, developed all summer. Came off the AAU circuit, and that was a big thing. And I think that was a part of the guys really buying into what we do and trusting what we do, is kind of saying, hey, let's kind of pull back from AAU this summer. Let's kind of look at, staying in the gym, weight room, gym, and dedicating that time that we could be spending playing AAU to the weight room and to the gym and to getting better individually. He came out this year and was phenomenal. Obviously, he benefited from playing in the system the year before, knowing what we do, full court man-to-man, and condition his body such that he was able to handle it, and he had a phenomenal year. With Mac Bride, so Mac was a senior this year. We've been through a lot last year. He played maybe the first 9 games, and then we had an injury. So going into the season this year, we didn't know what to expect. Saw him in AAU, got a chance to go to team camp, and I just played him the entire camp. Tried to play him, in the shape, tried to play him past any fear or injury, and just, continue to instill faith in him that all is well. And when we came into the first day of practice, second day of practice, we rolled our ankle, and he was out the first 6 games of this year. Slowly worked his way back in the lineup, started getting himself back in shape, and then just exploded for us. He was an anchor down low, rebounded well, finished at the rim, caught the ball, and was a voice on the floor, which was good. We needed that as far as him being vocal, he understanding, taking our other 2 bigs, Greg and John, under his wing, and kind of showing them the right way to do things, showing them what we mean lingo and terminology-wise. And that was very good, very good. We're very, very proud of Mac. Mac's, now schools are in. They're looking at it. Mac was all conference this year, which was big for him. And we're very, very proud of him and his development. Can't say enough about Zach. He was phenomenal all year long. Last year, we had ups and downs. We come in the game, we make 3 threes, and then we're done. We're shut down. And he came to me at the end of the year, and we talked, and Zach was kind of like, hey, coach, I'm not playing soccer next year. We're just going to do basketball. I just want to focus on basketball. Every day this summer, Zach was in the gym, whether it was with 1 guy or 10 guys. He was in there getting up shots. working on his ball handling. Preseason, he was in every day, getting better. Blessed to grow a couple inches as well. Body got in shape. He worked with our strength and conditioning coach, got in shape. Came into the season and took it by storm, honestly. He became a lockdown defender. We put him on the other team's best guy, and that was his job. I remember, Coach Pridgeon and Coach Jenkins kind of saying, at the end of some games, how many points does Zach have? And Coach Pridgeon would go, he had 5. But he played the entire game. He locked down the other guy, and the 5 points was probably the biggest 5 points in the game. He was phenomenal for us. And he's continuing to grow. Zach's a junior now, so he's got another year, and he's continuing to grow, continuing to get better. And it was just, again, trusting in the process, and the process paid off for him. We have Mr. Sam Wolf. So Sam played a huge role for us last year. Kind of by default, we wanted to bring him on slow. He was an 8th grader last year. Played varsity. When Mac went down with an injury, we had to put Sam in the line of duty, and he was on the front lines, and we were very, very proud of him. He played majority down low, but he was probably 6'4" last year. He came into the season this year 6'6" now. So that's another blessing that he stretched out. We began moving him out and trying to give him a little more, but not too much. He's fortunate enough to have some more experienced guys kind of playing in front of him where he can sit back and learn as he adjusts and kind of learn new positions on the floor. Sam's a do-it-all guy. He's a great young man, solid in his faith, great student in the classroom. And on the floor, he's ferocious. Defensively, does an outstanding job. Offensively, he's efficient, makes shots, he handles it, and to be able to sit back and see his growth now as a freshman from his 8th grade year to his freshman year has been remarkable. I'm so proud of him. He's going to continue to get better, and he's going to be special. There's a very good chance of being special, a special two-way player on the floor, and on the offensive end, even being a two-way player, being able to go down low and play out. So we're excited to see his growth and see where it goes from there. As Coach Pridgeon says, this is his favorite player on the team. I love him to death. His name is James Gruber. James is the heartbeat of Carmel Christian basketball team. James comes in and works super hard every day in practice. James knows what we do. He's correcting guys that's not doing it right. James is in study hall. James is in the weight room. James is in practice. James is running. We having to go run trash cans to him. James is pushing himself every single day to have an opportunity. And when he gets his opportunity on the floor, he maximizes it every single time. On the bench, he is the loudest guy consistently. On the floor, he is the loudest guy on the floor consistently. He's our enforcer. That's what we call him. I've seen times, young men have driven to the lane and James has almost taken the young man out, and we kind of make you a little squeamish, and he's just that type of kid. Great young man, huge Xavier fan, talks a lot of trash to me. But Carmel Christian School basketball would not be Carmel Christian School basketball without James Gruber. His experience off the floor has led the guys in the right direction and always done the right things by him. So we're glad James is a junior. I get another year with him, thank God, and we're excited to have him, and always have been excited to have him part of the program.
Ryan Litzel.